Latest article for the Daily Beast entitled "Who Will Win the Biden-Trump Double Haters?" You write in part, quote, "So-called double haters might be the most important voting bloc this year. In case you missed the memo, double haters are voters who don't like either Donald Trump or Joe Biden. Despite polls that clearly show voters are frustrated with Biden, it's also hard for me to imagine that he can evoke the intense hatred inspired by other candidates like Hillary Clinton or Trump. What is more, it's probably easier to stay mad at Trump. Not only are his words and actions more egregious, they're also harder to avoid." Matt continues, regardless of who ultimately wins or loses with the double haters and the election, the rise of this cohort is significant because of what it says about the sad state of modern American politics. And I would add to that, very loud, echoing disinformation coming not just from Donald Trump, but all the different branches of our society that he has working for him.
Right. And you do have, Matt, for that reason and many more, you have these so-called double haters. And I'm with you. I've always been fascinated by people who used to target Nancy Pelosi for 30 years and Hillary Clinton for 30 years and now AOC and all these other people. And I kept wondering, how are they going to do this, Joe Biden? Like, this guy's like, he's this guy from Delaware that was criticized for being too easy on banks and credit card companies and corporations over his Senate career. How are they going to turn him into some left-wing monster and beast?
Crime family.
They've somehow managed to do that. And so you do have these double haters, which really goes to, how, as you said, the rise of negative partisanship, which now really defines so much of our political system. But in this case, you were so right. Explain how the winner of this election will be the person who gets the so-called double haters more of that vote to vote for them.
I think that's exactly right, Joe. And part of it is just the sheer size of double haters, right? Every 4 years, we obsess over undecided voters. How are the undecided voters going to break? Well, traditionally, undecided voters are like 10 or 11% of the electorate. These double haters are double that, right? It's about 19%, about a fifth of the electorate are people who are dissatisfied with either Donald Trump or Joe Biden. So I think very clearly, as go the double haters, so goes the election. My personal bet is, as we were alluding to there, that, if it's a binary choice, if voters are forced to choose between Trump or Joe Biden, I think that redounds to Biden's benefit simply because I think it's easier to hate Donald Trump. And at the end of the day, forced to choose a binary choice between Biden and Trump, a lot of folks will just hold their nose and vote for Biden kind of as the lesser of two evils. But, Joe, where this gets messy, and if you're Democrats, where this gets scary, is the proposition that it won't be a binary choice, that there'll be a third-party candidate who runs like in a battleground state. We know it's about the Electoral College, right? It could be Jill Stein. It could be RFK Jr., Cornel West, somebody who gives these double haters an out. They don't have to vote for Biden or Trump. They can go with a third option. And I think that's what Democrats have to take very seriously.
Matt, what do we know about these voters? I mean, I have seen some of Sarah Longwell's focus groups where the double haters go the way you're suggesting and sort of end up with these are people who voted for Trump twice and end up on leaning towards the Biden side. But are these people who voted for Biden in 2020 and therefore he needs to win back, or are the people maybe are they old Trump supporters? Do we have a sense of who they are?
I think, first of all, one question would be, are they like independents? And I think that most of these folks are people who did vote in the past for Biden or Donald Trump. In the case of Donald Trump, I think that it was probably January 6th that was the the event that pushed many of them away from the Republican Party. They were willing to stick with Trump through a lot of things. But January 6th, I think, was a bridge too far for many of these double haters. In the case of Joe Biden, I think it's probably a lot of young voters who, frankly, feel, there's the age issue. Obviously, there are things like inflation, other issues, the border. But whatever the case may be, these are not, I would say the majority of these folks are not people that are like the undecided independent voters. These are folks who previously voted for one of these two. They just need to come home and be given a permission to come home. And that's why I think the third party possibility is very dangerous. And again, I think it's probably the third party is probably more likely to hurt Joe Biden disproportionately.
All right. The Daily Beast's Matt Lewis, thank you very much. And Donnie Deutsch, thank you as well. We appreciate your insights this morning. And